Hey guys, my name's Cavern, and in this video, I'm going to show you guys some tips and tricks that a lot of pros have been keeping a secret and that you probably haven't seen before. A short background on me is I've been playing since beta, and I've competed in tier 1 tournaments against many pros, while also having over 700 wins in Radiant. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. So, the first tip is going to be over here on Ascent A site. Now, a lot of people don't realize it, but there's actually a crack right through the middle of generator. And if you come to this ledge and stand on it, you can see through the crack and see enemies. And while it is spammable, it can be hard to line up a shot because it is very small pixel perfect. I just use this to track and see which side the enemy is going to peek me from, and you can follow them back and forth. And if the enemy goes to peek one side, you will have the jump on which side they're going to peek you from, and it should result in a free kill. This next trick is a sova ulting trick, which was shown to us by Newturn at Masters in Reykjavik, where the traditional way of sova ulting is straight on, and if I knew a team was rushing B, I could ult, and I would have to hope that I would tag one, but they can see where I'm ulting from and how it's traveling and kind of get a sense of how to dodge it. Whereas the sova from Newturn performed his sova ult like this to make it really unpredictable and hard to dodge by the enemies. To replicate this style of sova ult, what you do is you pop your ult, aim at the ground, and you flick up after you've clicked mouse 1. So, if the enemy is rushing B, you pop your ult, click mouse 1, and then flick up. And it will be very hard for them to dodge it. This next trick is for Omen Flash, which I think is really cool because Omen's been in the game since the start of it, but not many people seem to know about this yet. So comment down below if you've seen this before, but it's actually that Omen's Flash has 3 different speeds. And you have the normal speed, which is just when you throw it, but 2 other speeds that are influenced based off the direction you're moving. So if you run backwards and throw, it'll go super slow, but if you run forward and throw, it'll travel super fast. And these are all useful for different situations, and the following clip will show you the actual speeds at which they travel. This next trick is actually another Omen trick, and it's actually that you can TP through a breach ult with your normal TP, not even your ultimate. So if a breach were to ult at you, you can TP right through it and it won't even hit you. You just have to make sure you're timing it right, and how I've kind of got this down perfectly is you want to TP right before the breach ult gets to where you're aiming. And you'll always dodge it every time. It'll go right past you. An example of how you could do this in a game is if you were playing a site and you know a breach is about to ult you, you could TP into the ult and they'll never expect you. Whereas if I'm playing back default and they ult, I can just jump into the corner, and when they run up, they'll run right past me because they would have expected my body to go flying into the air while I'm ulted. Next, we have a boosting trick, which the original way of boosting on elevated platforms such as this on Bind was if you were to stand in the corner, you would have a teammate come and they would crouch walk into you, and it can be really buggy as you see right now, and you just have to keep spam crouch jumping, and that one didn't work. And eventually you'll get up and you'll get pushed on top. But at Iceland, I forget which team it was, but they showed a way that you can boost super easily, much quicker and more efficient, where you just walk right into your teammate and you hold W, jump, crouch, uncrouch, all in one movement, where you just stand face to face with them, jump, crouch, uncrouch, and you just instantly get pushed up top. And it's a much more efficient and a much faster way to boost. You can do this on split, bind, almost anywhere, even Ascent, and you can use it to get to elevated surfaces much quicker, so your teammates aren't struggling to boost you every time. Have you ever wondered why maybe your favorite pros or streamers are able to silently b-hop upstairs super quickly, but you've never really understood how to do it? Well, it's a mechanic called silent b-hopping, and it's drastically faster than just shift walking up the stairs, but it allows you to still not make a noise and get places much quicker. And these are the 2 comparisons of just walking up the stairs versus silent b-hopping. to do this silent B hop, it's all about the timing at which you press and hold your shift key. Whereas if you press shift here and start B hopping up, you will still go up the stairs at the same speed as if you were regularly shift walking up. However, if you run into the stairs and press and hold your shift key while you're midair of the first jump, it'll register that you were running full speed and still propel you up the stairs at that full moving speed. However, because you're holding shift, it won't make footsteps as you're going upwards. So to do this, it'll look like this: press and hold shift and continue to B hop up. And now you've just saved yourself a ton of time while still not making any noise, and you can get the jump on enemies and maybe catch them off guard if they're not expecting you to be up heaven that fast. This next trick is a smoke trick when entering smokes that has been pretty well kept and not really talked about in like the Radiant or Pro scene. And it's how to give yourself a fair advantage when, or not a fair advantage, but like an equal playing field when walking into smokes. And traditionally, if a smoke is bloomed and you walk into it, they're going to have a jump on you, see your gun barrel, and see you walking into it. However, if you come from the side and you look at the side and don't let your gun barrel peek through the smoke, and then you swing into it, it gives you a pretty even chance. It's like a 50-50 of when they see you versus when you see them. And I'll show the two POVs side by side when you walk into it versus when you come from the side. And either way, you're still able to pre-aim them easily because you have this dead spot of where you're blind, and that's when you can flick back to normal. But it's how a lot of Radiants make it look like they can just walk into smokes and kill people much easier than maybe you find doing in like lower elo lobbies. This next tip is something about just understanding map geometry. Now, if you look at this green box, you would think all of the green box is spammable, such as up here. However, you have to know that metal plates in this game are not spammable, such as this one, if they're on a green box. So even though you can't see it on this side, that metal plates part is not spammable. And I've seen a lot of Radiants even, and I have to tell a lot of people about this, is you can't just come here and spam and try to wallbang headshot them because the bullets won't go through. You have to aim where the metal plate is not, and even though it won't do as much damage shooting at their toes, the bullets will still go through, and this is how you'll see people getting spammed, if not dying, through the green box. And if you've ever maybe sova revealed someone backside and tried to spam and wonder why you don't even hit them, this is why. So there's multiple different green boxes like this across all maps, but it's a little known secret. You got to spam through non-metal parts of the box. I'm sure some of you have probably played against someone who maybe they're last alive and they like to just sit in this teleporter and wait to see if people give them free kills. So this next trick is to open this teleporter from the outside, where if you have some teammates here, you can force and flush them out by playing Raze or Killjoy, as long as you still have some util. And if you're Raze, you just run up to the TP doors and you let go of your boombot from anywhere, and it'll just open it from the outside. And even though you're at risk, as long as you hopefully have some teammates here, you should be able to flush them out pretty easily. You can also open the TP doors using Killjoy's alarm bot. Now, it's a little bit harder to do and more specific than the boom bot, but as long as you line it up under these notches along the right side, it should open every time. And it's just a cool way to flush enemies hiding inside of this teleporter out. This last way is going to be ways to spam a couple common Killjoy spots on both Ascent and Haven. So the first one is if they come A main and they all right here, you can just come to the switch. You just gotta wait till you hear it, and then once you hear it, you can just spam where their shots were landing. The next one is if they ult in tree and you're playing site, you can easily spam through that row. If you're on B site and they ult in B main, this gray spot right here is spammable as well. So if they ult in the B main corner, you should run. You can easily spam it just shooting through that. And then lastly, if you're playing backside B and they ult in front of the switch, here, you just look right where the dot is, it takes about 8 shots to break. But you just shoot. I ping on top of the switch or on top of the boat and then spam there, lined up with the Killjoy ult, because you have to shoot at the very tip of it. But next, we're going to move on to Haven. So on Haven, to start, if a Killjoy is ulting an A-Link right here,
you should run.
And you can come to sewers and you can come and just spam it through that wall. But if you're in the reverse situation and say you're the defender holding a site and the attacker comes in ults in this corner, this wall is even easily more spammed. And this can be done with any gun, including a Spectre or even a Classic. And it's very easy to break. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I try to stream every day at twitch.tv/cavern. I hope you guys learned something new, and thank you for watching. Peace.
This is a Sinima Beats production.